You know, this channel has always been about movies. At its heart, movies are what we are about here at AVA Pop Culture. I'm talking about the movies that we love, the movies we've forgotten that we love, the movies that we would love if someone just let us know about them, and sometimes even the movies we weren't supposed to love. The ones that you found on your VHS shelves with the beat up box art that looked so damn cool, the ones your parents didn't understand, and the ones that streaming definitely isn't in a rush to preserve. And for the past year, I have taken you guys on an adventure with me, something a little different. My first full year as a Vinegar Syndrome subscriber, I have brought you on that journey with me. And today, this video is not a list, it's not a ranking, it is the final chapter, a celebration of cult cinema, film restoration and preservation, all the proof that physical media is still winning and is still so important is right here in this box. So let's crack it open. Pop that tape in. I got you. Let's go do this. Now, before we get started here today, a quick little bit of clarity for the audience and the algorithm. And just in case you were wondering, this isn't replacing my movie rankings and recommendations list and movie deep dives and nostalgia and movie essays and all of that. This is physical media. This is the heart of what started this channel. Now, if you follow me, you know I have moved almost all of this content to my Patreon and for my YouTube channel members, because I really just want to talk about movies and share the meaning of movies with you. And this is a whole little bit of a different thing, but they go hand in hand and they're so important, especially now with whatever is happening. So think of this as more of a behind the scenes sort of bonus episode, a final chapter palate cleanser between my big countdowns and deep dives and movie rankings and recommendations and nostalgia and all of that, my video essays. Let's get to it and unbox a box of crazy movies that you'll probably never see on streaming. First up is the newest VSU, the Vinegar Syndrome Ultra. It is Garbage Pail Kids, the movie. And you see, I just got this box, so I haven't opened any of these yet. I just opened the box and took them out. This one is a time capsule of late 80s chaos. I mean, my brother and I collected Garbage Pail Kids cards, and they are just as gross as you could possibly imagine. And this is based on, and they were very controversial trading cards, and they caused, like, I remember getting in trouble for taking them to school. Like, there were PTA meetings about them back in the day. They caused a meltdown because they were gross and subversive and everything that movies technically should be and that art should be. And this movie feels like, let's say someone let a toy commercial sketch comedy show loose and mixed it with a fever dream and let them all fight it out in a warehouse, and all the while seeing who could be the absolute most gross. And this is kind of thing that Vinegar Syndrome does best, honestly. And I haven't watched it yet. I do all the 4K reviews and deep dives on my Patreon for those who are interested. This one is a full-on gross-out 80s comedy, and when you get Vinegar Syndrome, you get all kinds of special stuff with it. If you don't know, with a VSU, you're going to get not only a great restoration, you're going to get great packaging and stuff like that from Vinegar Syndrome and VSU. So are part of what brought me back into physical media collecting. So Garbage Pail Kids was a must. Now, that's not included with the subscriber package, but those are my favorite line with Vinegar Syndrome, so I always buy those. They're usually 3 or 4 a year that come out. Everything is going to pop on it, I am sure. I haven't watched these yet, but Vinegar Syndrome literally wrote the book on 4K restoration. That's where they made their bones. So if you want the top-notch restorations, it's Vinegar Syndrome, and then what used to be Shout Screen Factory that has kind of been downgraded, and then usually Arrow right after that. But these are going to be great. And next up is the Stendhal Syndrome, which is a late era Argento that I don't know anything about. It's got this cool side loader box to it. And I was doing some research on it, and it says this is his more like less neon, less fantasy, more psychological rot type movie. Now, I am not a big Argento fan. I know a lot of people are, but this one is like inspired by a real condition where overwhelming art triggers mental collapse, which is very weird. And so this one is going to play like a descent into an obsession from what I was reading. So it's interesting. I'm sure it's going to look good. It's going to have all your deep blacks and ingrained film grain and all that, intact film grain, because that's what Vinegar Syndrome does. I haven't watched it yet. I'm sure the color is going to look good. But this one, from what I was reading, is not like some cozy, like familiar Argento. This one is a like heavy, like punishing one. So we'll see how it is. And got Stendhal Syndrome. And now the next one is one that's had a Blu-ray. I'm not sure if it had a 4K overseas. This one's one I'm really looking forward to watching. This is Timecrimes. And now I like anything time travel, sci-fi horror. And this is one of those movies that, I mean, I've watched the trailers, I've read about it, so I know what's going on here. This is one of those movies that it really proves that you don't have to have a blockbuster budget to do time travel, just a smart script. And so you got a guy, a machine, and a bad decision, and it kind of keeps echoing because you've got the whole time travel. Vinegar Syndrome gives, like, I mean, this has got the side loader, all that kind of stuff. It is got the 4K in there in the slip with a slip cover on the inside, a booklet with essays and info, and they're going to do this justice. It's not going to be like overly slick. They don't use computer to clean stuff up. They don't over polish or anything like that. So this is a smart sci-fi, slight horror, as I was reading about, that sort of respects your intelligence. So I'm looking forward to checking this one out. So that's Timecrimes. Vinegar Syndrome has started putting plastic on the outside of their stuff, which I'm not used to. Usually I can just open this stuff right up and show you, but they have taken in the last few months to putting plastic on the outside of everything, which is very different from what they have always done. So have a look at the inside of Timecrimes. You also have to be careful what you show with Vinegar Syndrome, because they can get a little saucy with their artwork. But you got the 4K in there, the booklet, slipcover, all that stuff. So you get loaded editions from Vinegar Syndrome. So Timecrimes is one that was high on my list. Had I not been a subscriber, I would have bought Timecrimes and, of course, Garbage Pail Kids, because I'm into the VSU line. Now, the next one I can't say I would have bought because it is Troll 2. And I feel like if there was a Mount Rushmore of bad cult movies, like, this thing isn't it's not a Mount Rushmore head. It's more like a full body carving. Because there's actually, from what I remember, and I haven't seen this in a long time, I think there's like no trolls in this thing. They're more like goblins, and the dialogue is bad. It feels like it come from, I don't know, somebody's dream from another planet. But the movie really survived because fans wouldn't let it die. It's the definition of a cult film. And Vinegar Syndrome goes all in. They're doing a 4K of this thing with new artwork and the full side loader and slipcover, the packaging. This isn't ironic preservation by Vinegar Syndrome. This is historical preservation. It's not my favorite movie, but I love film preservation, especially in a time where we got Netflix out here trying to buy out Warner Brothers and all of its legendary IPs and be controlled by a man who sees physical media as nothing but clutter, his own words. He doesn't see the value in it and doesn't want to do it, and wants to get theaters out of the equation because they're outdated and reduce theatrical runs to nothing. In this time, this kind of stuff is more important than ever. I mean, way more important. Like, is this a movie that I'm going to love and watch? No, but I friggin' have it. And if I want it, you can't take it from me. and I don't have to keep paying someone else to get it. I don't have to be at someone else's mercy if they want to destroy it for tax write-off purposes or alter it for social whatever, political correctness. None of that exists here. And in my opinion, this day and age, the preservation of real art is doing the Lord's work at this point, because people are out to destroy real art. And if Netflix gets Paramount, that's a whole other discussion. I mean, if Netflix gets Warner Brothers instead of Paramount, who's going to redouble the efforts of putting physical media out, they put their money where their mouth is. Paramount and MGM, a lot of their titles come out through Vinegar Syndrome. They license them out. A lot of stuff is Paramount. And you're not going to see that from Netflix. So a movie like Troll 2 could just be lost in time, and you never see it, and forget it exists. And that's important now to have these kind of things. And the next one is another one that kind of explains why Vinegar Syndrome exists. And a lot of companies are in on Shaw Brothers stuff right now. And this is a Shaw Scares Volume 1. Now, typically, I'm not really into all of this Asian cinema influx. I feel it's like drinking through a fire hose. Every physical media company is licensing all this stuff dirt cheap, whether it's Vinegar Syndrome, whether it's Arrow Video, whether it's Scream Factory, Shout Studios, or Criterion, whoever, everybody's licensing this stuff dirt cheap, and then they're putting it out there, they're putting work into it, restoring, putting out there for profit. But everybody's just throwing multiple releases of this a month. It's like the stuff didn't even do well in their own country. But Shaw Brothers, this one is interesting because this is 3 horror movies in here, and I'm looking forward to Haunted Tales, Hell Has No Boundary, and Sex Beyond the Grave, which is interesting. You're getting multiple films here rescued from complete obscurity. I may watch these and get rid of them. Like at the end of the year, there'll be stuff that I don't keep. I'm not going to keep stuff that I'm never going to watch again just because it's on physical media. Like if I am like, look, I'm never going to put that in. Like, I'm going to get it, make sure it gets in the hands of someone who will enjoy it. But this is multiple films rescued from obscurity. It's cultural history, cult cinema history, horror history. A reminder that everything isn't just 80s horror in America, though that is 99.9% of what we remember and care about. But we're going to take a look at this. So we got a new Shaw Brothers box here. See if I can open it real quick. We got just a couple more movies. Man, they really got the plastic on here these days. So the top slides off, and inside, I gotta make sure these are okay to show. You also have a big booklet in here, and then you have your 3 films. So now these are Blu-ray, not 4K. Everything else to this point has been a 4K restoration. All right, and I gotta get that back on there the right way. That looks like a Warner Brothers label to me. I always think that it's like some kind of cross between Warner Brothers and Scooby-Doo's dog tag. Next up is one for VHS 80s kids right here. This is what this is. This is the kind of movie you would have found in your mom and pop video rental store right here. Blue City, and this is part of the Vinegar Syndrome Archives line, VSA. That's what this line is supposed to be, is movies like you'd have found in your mom and pop video rental store that were a little overlooked. You found them on the back shelf, action, horror, comedy, whatever they were, and rented them. They made their bones in the video rental store. This is Blue City, and it stars Ali Sheedy and Judd Nelson. And I make films, and I'm a huge 80s film person, 90s film person, and this is one that I haven't seen in 35 years, I guess, or so. So I don't remember much about it, but you have a cast. David Caruso's in here too, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So we have we have a classic VHS era type of rental here. You've got neon streets, decay. I'm trying to remember because I didn't rewatch the trailer before I did this. I have seen it, but it's been forever ago. It's like the city is collapsing around all the characters in this movie. It's very much one that slipped through the cracks, even though it's got a decent cast to it. That's what this line of their films is about. And so you know it's going to get good love. This is also a Blu-ray and not a 4K, but more film preservation. And then that doesn't just stop with Vinegar Syndrome's labels. They have a partner label. Well, it's actually not a partner label. It's another label under them. It's Melusine. Vinegar Syndrome made their bones. They first got money to get into film preservation by preserving adult cinema, adult films. And this is where Vinegar Syndrome gets misunderstood a lot of times. Is they put out something like Behind the Green Door. And this isn't about shock or anything like that. It's not about the sexiness of it. It's really about film history at this point because Vinegar Syndrome and Melusine exist to preserve cinema, and they preserve adult cinema here too because it's not disposable content. And they don't treat it that way because it owns a place in the development of film history, particularly one like this. It's not like what you think of today as far as adult stuff that you might see. Behind the Green Door was a cultural like lightning rod, like mainstream. It was the first like mainstream crossover moment, and it is a film because of that belongs in the historical conversation. And it's going to be preserved properly here. It's just like a 3 or 4 disc set with a soundtrack that had a huge soundtrack. This is a movie with adult themes in it, is what this really is. It's not in that kind of film. Contextualized and there's historical film scholars doing extras on here talking about the film, stuff like that. It's archived forever, not lost, not deleted, not forever perished from streaming, all that. So picked that up as well. And then finally, they have a couple of things. One thing I took a chance on, I think this is called The Revealer, and this is a bunch of pieces of short films and stuff. It shows how their restoration process goes and things that they've done. I don't even really know. They didn't give a lot of information on it, but I picked that up because I'm down for film preservation and keeping it in the best quality and having it out there and not behind one owner to rule them all in streaming. And to that end, I love what Vinegar Syndrome's doing here, and this is their very first release is in their new Vinegar Syndrome Retail line. And what a statement to pick Michael Mann's The Keep on 4K. The much long-troubled supernatural war film, adult dark fantasy, almost like Lovecraftian horror type thing. It got a beautiful 4K restoration. The atmosphere is restored. We may never get the full 3-hour movie that we were supposed to get, but this feels as complete as you're going to get. And this is Vinegar Syndrome saying we're not just about saving cult movies. We're about saving lost visions and preserving it and getting it out there in front of the biggest audiences possible. As Vinegar Syndrome Retail is going to be available not just through Vinegar Syndrome's website themselves, but through all online retailers like Diabolic DVD, Orbit DVD, all those places like that. But Vinegar Syndrome has now also made their way into Barnes and Noble. You're going to see some releases in there already, and you're going to see more and more like this thanks to the Vinegar Syndrome retail line. So this is a huge thing because they're out here trying to preserve physical media and get it into your hands where you might not know about it otherwise. And again, in this day and age, this is so important. Now, they had previously released this. You could only really get it a standard version on Amazon or the big deluxe version on their website. Well, now online retailers and look for it in Barnes & Noble, and that's a huge win for physical media over this year-long journey to see it grow, and we need it to grow. We have to fight back against locking everything behind one streamer's paywall who can then charge anything they want because it's the only way you can see it, and they're never going to let you have it on physical media. They're never going to let you have it in the best quality. They're never going to let you own it. You're going to have to pay them forever if you want to see it. And if they own 50% of the market or more, they can charge you anything they want. And this is the kind of thing that combats that, and it's so important. And The Keep, if you haven't seen it, Michael Mann, great filmography. Check out The Keep. And I had to pick it up, even though I have 2 other copies of the film. So no, this wasn't a list. It wasn't a ranking. It wasn't nostalgia. It wasn't a deep dive. It wasn't a film essay. It wasn't breaking it down in perspective. It wasn't talking about everything going on in the world. This is a thank you letter to physical media, a love letter to what we grew up with something tangible in our hands. Labels like Vinegar Syndrome, Arrow Video, Screen Factory, Shout Studios, all these companies, then up-and-comers, seeing them out there like Ignite Films, all these that are doing this work, Criterion, of course, they make these movies feel like artifacts, like a piece of history that we have to hold on to, preserve, enjoy in their best quality, and pass down, and not like disposable content. Movies are not content, they are art, and they should be treated as such. And that's what Vinegar Syndrome and these other labels that take the care to restore them do. And I mean, I'm going to throw my cards on the table. This is what Paramount wants to do. And they go look. Paramount releases beautiful 4K restorations all the time, just all over the place, and they license out their titles for other people to do, because they are putting their money where their mouth is in theatrical and physical. And I'm not a fan of mergers of any kind, really, with huge companies like this. But if it's gonna have to happen, give me the one that wants to let us preserve our American culture, because movies are part of our cultural DNA, and there is no way around it. And give me the one who is going to put more movies in theaters again, who is going to more put an emphasis on physical media. And they've already been doing it. So it's not, oh yeah, trust us, we'll do it later. They've already been doing these things. So give me that company, because I do not want to see this all go away. Because if it does, and the wrong people get control of this stuff, then someday the shelf like this might be the only place these movies exist. And that is sad. So that's what I got for you today. It has been a hell of a journey. And of course, for this year, as a Vinegar Syndrome subscriber, they're not all winners. I probably got 10 or so that I'm probably never going to watch again. I'm going to move them on to someone who does enjoy them. And I'll probably do that video on my Patreon and my YouTube channel members, just as I will break down and review these films for their quality, their content, their restorations, their bonus features, all that kind of stuff, and whether or not I like them. All that will be on my Patreon. If you're interested in any of that stuff, the link's always in my description, and you can join, and it's like a couple dollars a month, and you get to see all that extra content. That's what I got for you this time. And I've got a bunch of big videos coming. Don't you worry. Some big deep dives and all of that. But I had to close this chapter on a hell of a ride and fight for physical media, movie theaters, and our cultural heritage, of which movies are a huge part. But I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, like and subscribe. That helps me out. And share this video. Go out there and buy some movies and support this stuff, so that it's not all taken away from us and downgraded and changed and lost forever. But until next time, hey, I got some big lists and rankings coming, don't you worry, and some big deep dives. And I'm just excited. We are a week from Christmas, and I love this time of year. But until next time, be kind, rewind like always. It's Chase with AV Pop Culture, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye. Ding, ding. Time's up.